Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Honorable Garin.
Yeah.
We can hear you.
Yeah. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair. To take off from the question earlier addressed to, prior to that, Mr. Chair, Mr. Chair, prior to everything, allow me to express my congratulations to Mr. Ken Sarmiento. I never knew that the Honorable Dan Fernandez was able to brought him into. Siya po ay isang ehemplo ng kawani ng gobyerno na gumagawa ng tama, pero iniipit at hinahanapan ng mali kapag nagbibigay na ng report. I've worked with him before. I haven't met him several times in the office, but I've heard a lot of good things that he was pursuing. My next question was, kanina kasi narinig ko si Dr. Ish Vargas when he said, yung mga flags kasi, region ang nakaka-detect nito. Can I inquire whether he really meant that red flags are usually started at the region and the national office is not available, is not aware of such?
Mr. Chair, Madam Congresswoman Garin, ang sinabi ko po is ang monitoring is being done at the regional level and of course at the national level din po. Katulad po ng ginagawa natin, pagdating po sa mga evaluation ng claims ay ang atin po, kaya po meron tayong medical prepayment review for some of the cases, and of course for some of the cases po yung pong post-audit, doon po ay nakikita na kaagad or maaaring makita na through the monitoring na ginagawa kung meron pong mga ganitong patterns. At the national level naman,
Yeah. Mr. Chair, moving forward, with regards to the payment of premium, ang miyembro ba ng PhilHealth pagka nagbabayad ng premium, isang beses lang bawat taon or dapat or kailangan paulit-ulit? Please answer with a yes or no because we're constrained with time.
maaari pong paulit-ulit, maaari din pong taunan ang pagbabayad or gaya po ng pwedeng semestral or quarterly po.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, allow me to repeat my question. Ang tanong ko po kay Dr. Ish Vargas, kapag ba nagbabayad ka ng premium paulit-ulit, meaning when you pay for your annual premium, do you have to pay it again or hindi?
Mr. Chair, pagka nakabayad na po, yung pong susunod na taon na yung babayadan nila.
Yes, thank you for that. So balik po tayo dun sa premium na sinasabi nyo. Dun sa senior citizens, pag binayaran na sila via a point of care system, do you accept that as a payment of that member's premium or hindi?
Mr. Chair, may I refer this to our MMG? Because hindi ko po alam ang proseso pagpasok po doon sa pagbayad na or yung pagtanggap na kung paano po siya nire-record.
Yes, MMG.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Madam, the question is whether or not we still collect premium if they are confined through point of service. Am I correct, ma'am?
The question is, if a member is already enrolled via point of care, yung nangyari sa senior citizens dati, binayaran ng ospital or ng DOH ang kanilang premium sa pamaraan ng point of care dahil wala kayong lista ng mga senior citizens. So pagka may senior citizen na nagkakasakit, agad na binabayaran yung kanilang membership with the hope that it will be re-enrolled or that member will now have, it's a methodology by which PhilHealth will be able to generate a database of senior citizens.
I still have to check the record, Your Honor, on whether or not there are senior citizens.
Mr. Chair, can I ask the MMG head how long has he been with PhilHealth?
I've been with PhilHealth for 20 years, but I was just reassigned to MMG in October
Mr. Chair, can I go back to Dr. Ish Vargas? Kasi alam ko pong he was very much involved with the point of care payment in Philhealth sometime in 2014 and 2015. Dr. Vargas, can you answer the question, please? Kasi napaka-basic po nyo, no? Hindi po kailangan maging official. You don't even need to be a doctor to answer that question. Let's say your parents, na-admit sila sa hospital, binayaran ang premium nila ng point of care. Are they considered members already? Are their premiums considered paid or not?
Kung sa pagkakaalam ko po, kung babayadan na po ng ospital during that time, then the patient already is a member and with qualified premium contribution.
Okay. So in other words, if that senior citizen has already been paid through the point of care system, there's no point that you have to collect to DBM for another premium payment. Yes or no, please, Ish?
Dapat po.
Okay. Balik po tayo. Paulit-ulit po kasi sinasabi na nilustay at ninakawan kayo ng 10.6 billion na allocation daw ng senior citizen. Can you explain if this is true or not? Yes or no, please?
Mr. Chair, hindi po kasi ako ang humahawak doon sa pondo. So hindi din po ako ang may knowledge kung papaano
Mr. Chair,
ko
let me rephrase my question. Are you a member of the MANCOM or the EXECOM, right? So andun ka sa reports.
Ano po, Mr. Chair?
You're a member of the EXECOM, you're a member of MANCOM.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So andun ka pag nagbibigay ng reports.
Mr. Chair, yes.
Yeah, and I remember you were in many meetings with the former President de la Serna. And you were also there in the meetings when we discussed the 10.6 billion alleged na sinasabi niyong nawawala. Kaya mahirap namang sabihin na hindi mo alam yon. So are you aware na merong mga alegasyon na ganon or hindi?
Mr. Chair, alam ko po na may mga aligasyon at ito naman po ay nasa mga news din po.
Okay. My next question is this. Having had that in several meetings where you were present, did the amount of 10.6 billion enter the coffers of PhilHealth? Or let me rephrase it. Sa General Appropriations Act ba, meron bang pondo na 10.6 billion specifically earmarked for PhilHealth? And let me further ask, did DBM release to you that amount or not?
Mr. Chair, hindi po ako familiar.
Honorable Garin, if I may cut you, we have a deadline at 2 o'clock for your last question.
Yeah. Mr. Chair, allow me to point that I'll produce documents during meetings if Dr. Vargas was there or not. Can we have the finance officer of PhilHealth, please, if he's present?
Sir Limsiaco,
Mr. Chair, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Hapon po.
Okay, Mr. Limsiaco, can you please answer the question? Meron po bang earmark na sa General Appropriations Act, as what Gordon keeps on claiming na natanggalan daw kayo ng 10.6 kaya kumonte yung pondo nyo at hindi raw ito dahil sa fraud? Do you have an allocation in the GEA specifically earmarked for payment of PhilHealth premiums, specifically earmarked for you? And did DBM release 10.6 billion for PhilHealth?
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, based on record, Your Honor, wala po 10.6 na appropriation from DBM and wala din po na pumasok na pera from the Department of Budget and Management to PhilHealth po.
Thank you very much for that, Mr. Chair. Further question. As
Honorable
finance
Garin,
head,
I
last
apologize.
question po.
Okay.
Last question po. Because importante po kasi, Mr. Chair, na napag-uusapan ito sa Finance Department. Paulit-ulit po kasi na nagkakaroon ng paniningil, no, ng mga premium. Are you checking whether people enrolled are real people or not? And is there a mechanism in place to check actual members vis-a-vis re-enrolling dependent members and re-enrolling non-existent people? Kay Mr. Limsiaco pa rin po sa finance.
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, with due respect, Mr. Chair, I think our MMG can answer that question, Your Honor.
Yes. After the reply, I now recognize the Honorable BH for the manifestation. Go ahead. Kindly reply.
Hello, Mr. Chair. What we're doing right now is trying to clean the data. In fact, we have already issued different instructions to the regions as far as the cleansing of the data is concerned. Now, in terms of the senior citizens, we're doing the validation from a PSA data, and of course, coming also from the data coming from the SWD, we do the necessary matching, and then we remove those who are still currently employed from the list so that we are able to get the exact data to be charged to DBM.
Thank you. Honorable Garin, I apologize. I will now give the time to